The Huss Troika is a classic amusement ride that still has a place at many amusement parks today. Developed by the German manufacturer Huss Maschinenfabrik, the first Troikas were introduced in the early 1970s and are one of the earliest rides the company ever produced. The name Troika comes from the Russian word for three, referring to the ride's three arms. Accordingly, the ride has a three-arm design, each arm of the Troika supporting a rotating hub outfitted with 7 gondolas, accommodating up to 42 riders per cycle. During operation, each arm lifts to about 40 degrees while the gondolas spin outwards in a wave-like motion, creating a dynamic yet gentle ride experience. Each arm rotates in a clockwise direction while the gondolas rotate counterclockwise. The earliest recorded installation was at OK Coral Theme Park in France. It opened in 1970 and still operates today in its original location. One of the earliest installations in the United States was at Kings Island in 1975. Now, 5 decades later, that same ride is still in operation and remains a favorite among park visitors. As of 2025, there are 12 Troikas or Troika variants operating in the US. Huss originally designed the Troika as a traveling fairground attraction, but its mechanical complexity and large footprint made it a challenge to move regularly. In addition, it takes 3 trailers to transport in the US, making it undesirable for most showmen, especially in the US, which has stricter travel regulations. As a result, it gained more popularity in permanent amusement parks rather than on the fair circuit. In Europe, the ride originally thrived in both traveling shows and amusement parks, but by the year 2000, most Troikas had been permanently installed or completely retired and scrapped. As of 2025, only 6 Huss Troikas were still in operation across Europe. The last known traveling Troika on the continent was a German unit named Dancing Queen, which remained on the road until 2016. It was later purchased and refurbished by Dutch operator Vandermost, who then sold it to Dorney Park in the US, where it continues to operate under the name Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope was one of 3 Troikas to open in 2017 in the US after Cedar Fair, now Six Flags, purchased multiple refurbished flat rides to relocate to their parks. Even though Huss discontinued the Troika in 2003, Troikas continue to be a fan favorite attraction. With the model no longer being in production, many of these rides have had to be maintained through the use of salvaged parts from decommissioned units. Huss must be aware of the ride's popularity though, as in 2023, they announced the return of the Troika. The Troika 2G is a more modern take on the original ride. The 2G is customizable with decorative theming parks can add to. Huss is attempting to capitalize on the trend of parks putting a larger emphasis on theming and storytelling rather than on the ride experience alone. Outside of the cosmetic differences, there's not many differences between the 2G and the original, other than some tech upgrades. The 2G comes in permanent installations and features updated ride vehicles with more room, comfier seating, and a new lap bar design. As of this video's creation, no parks have purchased the 2G, but hopefully we'll see an installation soon. Huss also introduced a smaller version known as the Airboat around the year 2000. While it shares the Troika's 3-arm layout, the Airboat has only 4 gondolas per arm, giving it a maximum capacity of 24 riders. Its lifting system is also different. The entire arm lifts as one solid unit, unlike the Troika where only the outer portion elevates on its own. The Airboat is only available as a permanent model, and unlike its predecessor, it is still in production today. Huss also created other similar rides such as the TriStar, which has already been covered in the series. Several other companies attempted to replicate or modify the Troika concept. In 1973, the British firm Bennett's developed their own version of the ride, but it failed to catch on and only 2 were built. In 1975, the French manufacturer UFO introduced the Turbojet, which was nearly identical to the Troika, but featured suspended gondolas that allowed for swinging motion. Some versions had 5 or 6 gondolas per arm. Examples of these rides remained in operation in France until around 2010. In the early 1980s, the Scorpion ride was introduced by the British company Tivoli Enterprises. This version maintained the same movement and capacity as the Troika, but was designed to be far easier to transport, requiring only a single trailer. It also operated at higher speeds and had the ability to rotate its arms in the same direction as the central structure, although that feature is rarely used. Another British manufacturer, Fairmats, also produced the Scorpion, though the relationship between them and Tivoli is not well documented. Today, one Tivoli Scorpion travels around the US under the showman Tally Amusements, and several travel around the UK. The Troika has endured thanks to its mechanical charm and nostalgic appeal. Even after 50 years, it remains a classic amusement park ride that is enjoyed by millions of riders each year. Its iconic design and ride experience inspired many different variations and other flat rides in the years following, even as recently as 2023. From Kings Island's steadfast installation to Dorney Park's refurbished kaleidoscope, the Huss Troika continues to delight riders while preserving a unique chapter of amusement park history that will likely continue for generations to come. Have you ridden a Troika? If so, what did you think of it? As always, if you'd like access to all episodes of Flat Rides Friday Season 2 without having to wait, consider becoming a channel member and start binging them now. If not, no pressure though, the next episode will be out next week. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.